Yes. Can you hear the squeaking of my chair?
No, Jasmine.
Okay. So it sounds pretty loud. And
You gotta stop touching the mic.
I
You gotta
didn't
you
I
gotta
didn't touch
do
the mic.
you gotta stop oh, you were tapping on the table. You just
Yeah, this
yeah,
it's
you
picking it
can't
up
you
real
you
like
can't
my
do that.
this mic
That's a no.
is
You can't do that, Jasmine. Keep your hands away from the microphone and anything that the microphone is touching. For the love of God, please. For the
anyone want
sake of
some ASMR?
no, you're literally fucking over our own audio. Like if any this is
No.
anyone's first episode, they're immediately gonna shut it off after
That's fine. It's fine. ASMR low key the
welcome
best.
welcome to Jawsbreakers, the scary funny shark movie show that is not an ASMR
Woo.
podcast. My name is Brett. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Jasmine and or Meteor Doll. What's up?
And we're a brother sister duo who watch sharks movies. Sometimes bad,
Sharks
sometimes good, always a good time. And ooh, that's pretty good, honestly.
Is it?
We watched for our season 3 finale a little movie called Jaws. Da-dum,
Dun-dun,
da-dum,
dun-dun,
da-dum,
dun-dun,
da-dum, da-dum,
dun-dun,
da-dum.
dun-dun.
Uh,
It was really good.
Jasmine, this was your first time watching this movie. Um,
Fully. I've never watched it like in one go. I've seen bits and pieces. I've
mhm.
seen some scenes here and there, but I've never just sat down, I don't think, and watched it. I might have like way back in the day,
This is
but
probably my third time seeing it this year, and I think I've seen it probably 6 or 7 times total. But this is also the movie that traumatized me as a child and made me afraid of sharks and afraid to go in the water.
but
That
now you
haunts me to this
know.
day. Now I know what that there are
that
sharks in the
that
ocean.
sharks aren't but
Correct.
sharks aren't but sharks are not as bad as movies play them out to be.
Of course not, Jasmine. It's not a rational fear. I
But now
acknowledge
you
that.
know. The
That-
more you know.
What do you mean now I know? I've always known that.
I said the more you know.
Oh my God. Learn English.
You
So we watched the
learning.
Jaws movie, yay, on our Discord, and thank you to everyone who showed up. We appreciate you, we love you, and we're in love with you. And you big fat congratulations to Mom, for winning our Blu-ray copy of
Yeah.
Jaws, which was autographed by all the stars of the movie by us. So it's not real, but it's funny.
No. Yeah.
Uh,
And it's got our autographs.
And I know it's our mom and blah blah blah, but like, cut us some slack. She's
It
been
was
to like,
mom's turn.
yeah, it was mom's turn. She was overdue. It's season 3. Mom needed to win something, so she got that, and she gets also wins a great big old hug from my little sister Jasmine. Um, and
And a hug from her
no,
son,
I'm going to
Brett.
show her my love through an interpretive dance.
Oh, well, that'd be nice.
Hmm.
What for the viewers who can't see you, what would that sound like?
It would sound like my feet parappa rap papping on the floor as I tap tap tapping around.
Oh, you're gonna be tapping around?
You asked what does it sound, not what does it look like. It's a dance, Jasmine.
Well, I was thinking like you could like do like an interpretation of like
Okay, so this is an interpretive sound of my interpretive dance for my
yeah,
mom to show her how much I love her.
mm,
All
sounds
right,
great.
that's enough of that. Jasmine, tell us about Jaws.
You want the facts?
Well, fact number 1, the show is partially named after Jaws. We're the Jawsbreakers.
Fact.
You didn't even
Yes.
realize that. You didn't put
No,
two
I
and two
knew.
together, and you didn't even
Also,
remotely.
also like sharks, jaws. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay. Continue.
Okay, all right. You want the actual facts? The movie we watched was the first Jaws movie from 1975. It was about 2 hours and 4 minutes long. It was released in June of 1975. It had a budget of I say that's $7 million.
Okay.
That's six zeros, right? 7 million.
At the time, that's an insane sum.
Yeah. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. You may know him from other films such as Schindler's List. Wow, I butchered
That
that.
was over $33 million by today's standards. So just put that into
Ooh.
perspective.
Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark,
You
as
you
well as
really can just skip everything about Steven
saving.
Spielberg.
Well,
Everybody knows who Steven Spielberg is.
some people might not know who Steven Spielberg
Everybody
is.
knows who Steven Spielberg
Some
is. And if you
people
don't
might
know,
know.
I'm just going to put it out there. If you don't know who Steven Spielberg is, yes, you do. Shut up. Continuing on.
Okay, the movie was written by
Sagan?
Gottlieb. Carl Gottlieb.
Mm,
Lieb, Gottlieb,
I think it's Gottlieb.
and Peter Benchley.
O'Toole.
And the ratings, I think this is the highest rating movie that we've seen so far, with an 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb, 97% Rotten Tomatoes, 86% of Google users like this movie, and 87% on Metacritic. So it got really high ratings, and I think it's probably the top rated on our actual Jawsbreakers list.
What?
And this movie, I believe, is one of the top rated movies that we've watched so far on our Jawsbreakers list. Because remember, like Sharknado had like a 3 out of 10, and
Mm-hmm.
like 50% of people
Yeah.
liked it. So this is
Okay.
like really high.
Who
97% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's crazy.
who is this movie starring? I know you know.
This movie has Roy Scheider.
Schneider?
There's not an in there.
Then it's
It
Scheider.
Roy Scheider, who plays Brody, the one of the main characters. He's the sheriff. We've got Robert Shaw, who plays Quint, which was the crazy shark fisherman.
How dare you? That man's not crazy.
Okay. We got Richard Dreyfuss.
Dreyfus, yes.
He played Hooper, which was the National Geographic guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then some other people, Lorraine Gary, who played Ellen Brody, which was Brody's wife. That's
Uh,
just it's mostly just those three guys.
well, hold
For this
on. There's
movie.
another one of note here that we should mention, and that's the mayor.
Okay. Is that Carl? Or is which one is that? Because I have pictures, but I don't recall what he
That
looks like on the
is
real.
Mr. Murray Hamilton.
He played Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mayor
doesn't say
Vaughn.
mayor. It doesn't say Mayor Vaughn on
Well,
the
he
list.
was
So
he was the mayor, and he
okay,
is to blame for a lot of what happens in the movie in terms
he
of
sure
gross
is.
negligence on the part of the town.
Always a
Um,
political figure.
so, Jasmine, what are your thoughts about the cast? Was there was there a specific standout to you? If someone was winning a best of the rest type award, actually, I take it back. We have that. We totally take it. The Jonathan Pincer Award, as you'll recall from Five-Headed Shark Attack and Planet of the Sharks, our
Oh,
favorite guy.
golly.
Who
Your
wins
favorite
your
guy.
Jonathan? He's yours too. Who wins your Jonathan Pincer Award?
I mean, there have to be Robert Shaw, who played Clint.
Yeah,
He's the one that stands out the most in this movie by far.
I am mostly inclined to believe with you, but I'll go ahead and give it to I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Hooper, Mr. Dreyfus.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, he played the part very well. He I appreciate how his character was like not willing to be, you know, bullied over by Robert Shaw's Quint, right? He
True.
very much stood his own and he got his hands dirty both literally and figuratively. Like he was putting his hands in, dead sharks and shit. So props to that. And not to I mean Scheider, Shaw, and Dreyfus are all turn in masterful performances, I think. They're all spectacular. Um, and the shark is the star of the movie, but we spend most of the movie with these three characters and we're the better
Mm-hmm.
for it.
Yeah, and it's literally like the second half of the movie where it starts to pick up with the fight against the shark. It's just those three people on Quint's boat, and man, it is a ride. It is for being a movie from 1975. Like a lot of it was pretty believable, and I feel like those events, um, like the way that they speared the shark with the barrels. I feel like that could like be an actual thing that people have done before.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like um I thought it was cool that like you told me that they bought like a real hammerhead shark.
It wasn't a hammerhead, no. That was a tiger
What
shark,
was
I think.
a tiger shark? Yeah,
I
yeah.
think. Don't quote me on that.
Someone had gotten like a dead tiger shark and they heard about it, so they went and they got it for this movie. So they had like a real dead tiger shark, which is pretty interesting. It's a kind of weird, but also pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I liked it. I think for a movie in 1975, it was not a bad movie. Like some of the movies that we've seen that were older were not as well done as this movie, for sure. And if you want your kids to watch it, you should let them watch it because this movie is rated PG. So,
Yeah, it's very strange. I mean, there isn't too much in the way of gore. We do see a
yeah.
severed human leg, which looks pretty real, especially for the time. So
And an
kudos.
arm or a hand.
We do see a shark bite down on someone's torso, and there are some intense scenes that, while they don't display gore, like people get dragged underneath the water. We see blood in the water. A little puppy disappears, although you might be able to ignore that if the kid's not paying attention.
And
Yeah,
then
if you want to give your
yeah.
kid an intense fear of the water and thalassophobia,
Oh.
then yeah, show them this movie. What?
I feel like it
Why
won't
are you
be
saying that? You're a mad.
I
You're
feel like
insane.
it won't be as bad because it's an older movie now.
No,
And
no. I
people
think
have
you're
Shark
insane.
Week and stuff now. I feel like people are more informed
I think you're
about
insane.
sharks.
I would not quote Shark Week any longer for scientific accuracy towards dispelling myths about sharks. They literally created a fake documentary saying like the Meg was still alive. Like they're fucking stupid.
I don't even remember. I remember that
They
actually.
they definitely did that. So the real shark, that scene you're talking about where the fishermen catch a shark and they think it's the man eater and they've got it strung up on the over the pier, that was a real 13-foot tiger shark.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Jasmine, do you want to go ahead and take another minute here while I look this up?
Sure. I can give you guys the base summary if you don't already know what the Jaws movie is about. Basically, it is summertime on Amity Island, which is a very small community, and its main business is its beaches. We got a new sheriff in town, which is Brody, and a string of shark attacks start to occur in this small town. You have the sheriff who wants to close down the beaches. They've never closed down the beaches before, so the politician and or mayor was like, nah, we need to keep this under wraps. We need to keep our business alive. Just one person who died, whatever. And lo and behold, even more people died. A child died. It's
Mm-hmm.
insinuated that a dog dies.
Yeah, depending on the cut you see, there's the dog
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Um.
By the
Blah, blah,
way,
blah.
so they were trying to find a real shark for that tiger for the man eater scene over the pier. They hired local fishermen to catch them, but no one could catch a shark big enough to pass as a man eater. Keep in mind that they filmed this movie in and around Martha's Vineyard. They actually found
Mm,
someone that caught and killed a 750-pound, 13-foot tiger shark in Florida.
Massachusetts.
No, this was in
What?
Florida. They found the shark in Florida, but
Oh.
no airline would fly a 15-foot
Um.
wooden casket filled with a dead shark all the way back up to Maine.
I wonder why.
So was it Gottlieb?
The writer, the
No,
writers.
producer Bill Gilmore sent a private jet to transport two
Wow.
people and a dead shark all the way from Florida to Maine for the shoot.
Well, it was in Massachusetts.
Again, sorry, Massachusetts. Again, the budget for this movie was outrageous for the time, like $66 million in today's money. So you can afford a plane ride for a dead shark if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
So we open
Um.
up a couple of beatniks out on a beach having a nice time playing a little guitar, smoking a little bit of the devil's lettuce, if you know what I'm saying. And this handsome man with a terrible haircut is getting eyes made at him by a pretty little strawberry blonde, and they go a traipsing and a running through the sand away from the rest of the group. She
And she
disrobes and
wants to
jumps
go
into the water.
swimming.
Yep, she wants to go skinny dipping, have a fun time. Sure, he is too fucked up,
Too drunk
too fucked up,
and
and
incapacitated.
assumingly drunk or high, and or both. And he falls over and
Passes
kind of
out.
passes out. And in the moonlight, we see the classic iconic scene of the lady being drugged underwater and eaten by the shark.
But not that gory again. It's just mostly insinuated
Well, I
that
would
she's
say
getting
it's
dragged by the
no, it
shark.
is not insinuated.
You don't see a shark.
You don't see the shark, but you visibly see her like being pulled underwater
Yeah,
over and
it's like
over again until
yeah,
she
it's just like her
disappears.
body is like this
I would
in the
consider that
water.
an intense scene of terror. Do not show this to your kids. Don't listen to Jazmin. She hates children, and specifically, she told me she hates your children.
No, I did
She
not
looked
say
me
that.
dead in the eye and said, "Brett,
I
I
did
hate the
not
listeners'
say
children. I
that.
want them to watch this movie."
Anyway, like I was saying, she dies, and the sheriff, Roy Scheider, wants to close down the beach. The mayor doesn't, and we have this huge argument, and people are starting to come in for like summer, for the 4th of July specifically. And lo and behold, they have a bunch of people go to the beach, and a child dies. He gets attacked by a shark,
Okay,
and
you fast forwarded so far ahead of the movie.
no,
It's outrageous.
I didn't.
Yes, you really did. The
It's the
child.
basis. It's the you want to go deep, deep down. I thought usually when we talk about
No,
it, we
okay, but you
go,
skipped a lot of the
"What
important
did
things,
what
Jasmine.
did I
So
skip?"
you skipped a lot of the things where Brody, the sheriff Brody, he's clearly a man who we're not getting to know these people very well. He's clearly from the mainland because this is an island, Amity Island, and he's never seen anything like this. They put into place that they called a shark expert to come check out the remains or whatever, and they have a very important event. July 4th weekend is coming up, and it's the town's biggest like few weeks of the year in terms of economic success. Like they rely on tourist money and
I said
beachgoers and all
that.
that things. I know, and the mayor, of course, is trying to brush it off as just a random accident. Blah blah blah. Eventually, we get to the point where the shark scene with the tiger shark, the dead tiger shark, because they're like, "Oh, hey, we gotta find this thing." And of course, the mayor is more than happy to say, "This was the shark, without a doubt. We got it. Let's get
Wait,
the fuck out of
wait.
here." What?
I wasn't skipping ahead because the boy gets attacked, and then she puts out a hit on the shark that attacks her son.
Oh, you know
The
what?
whip.
You're right, because
I was
Brody, she comes
yeah,
up and Brody slaps her.
I
Uh huh.
wasn't skipping anything at all. Thank you.
And at this
And
point, Hooper's also shown up, and he wants to look at the shark because after examining the remains of the young girl from the beginning, he's convinced that that a much larger shark has committed this attack compared to the much smaller 13-foot tiger shark.
Great white.
There was also a town meeting, a very famous scene where Quint runs his nails across the chalkboard to stop everyone from talking.
I'll be real, I don't remember.
And he tells them, I think it was what, 40 grand or something like that. He'll kill the shark and you get to keep all the pieces. You don't remember that at all?
I remember that. I just
Okay. Well, we're gonna pass through some more time here, and ultimately, it's determined that yeah, it's time to go out and get this shark. The mayor's in hot water because of the deaths, and Brody gets him to agree to allow him to hire Quint to hunt down the shark.
And Hooper comes with. There was another attack. There's another attack where Brody almost lost his son.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, okay. Then the mayor's like, oh, that could have been my kid that just got eaten. And
it could have been my kid that got eaten.
And then they decided to hire Quint.
Yeah. In Brody's defense, he wanted to close the beaches. He, anyway.
So did Hooper.
Right. So it was all the Mayor Vaughn that wanted to keep it open. But naturally, Brody got the majority of the blame for it for some reason.
He sure did.
Mm-hmm. So Quint, Hooper, and Brody go to sea, and Quint is just the meanest, saltiest fisherman you ever did meet. He gives Hooper so much shit, right? But here's where Quint totally shines. Even though he's an old crusty sailor, you can really feel like he's a man who grew up working hard. He earned everything he ever got with his hands. Couple of scenes I want to point out in particular. He shook Hooper's hands and said he had hands of an office job worker or something along those lines. Basically said he was soft. Likewise, there's a man can gauge another man by a handshake, right? There's a thing to that a little bit, right? That's why they became so common in things like job interviews and things of that nature, regardless of whether or not you like them or think that's right. But there's another scene where they're on the boat and casually Quint is just sitting in his like angler's chair and he's got the rod in front of him.
And they're talking about their scars and
no, not yet. Not there yet.
Okay, we're not there yet. Never mind, JK.
This is not nighttime. So he's behind the fishing pole, and he's teaching. He's casually acting like he's not interested, but at the same time, he's also teaching Brody how to tie a specific type of knot, which is totally something I get. Like you have to, and Brody took a little bit of that verbal criticism and just kept redoing it over and over and over again because that's what you had to do. You had to prove yourself, and that's what Quint was doing with Brody. He was getting Brody to prove himself as a seafaring person. Like he was treating him like he was a brand new hand with the most basic of things, but not babying him in the slightest, but he was still kind of willing to teach him something as opposed to just shutting him out altogether, which he kind of did with Hooper. He was just kind of shutting Hooper down at any chance he got. Robert Shaw was just the subtlety of his performance I cannot speak for highly enough.
That was good.
So naturally they hook the shark on the fishing rod, and they manage to attach a couple of buoys to the shark. And it disappears for some time, and then we get to the scene, Jazmin, that you were talking about at night, where they start comparing their scars, their war scars.
They're drinking, getting a little
mostly Hooper and Quint are comparing their scars, and then Quint has a mark or something, and Hooper asks about it, and I think it was a tattoo, right?
Yeah, it was a tattoo. It was like a
faded tattoo for the call number for the USS Indianapolis, and we are treated to the true story of the USS.
Oh, it was a scar because he got the tattoo removed, I think.
So this is where Quint reveals that he was a sailor with the USS Indianapolis when it went down during World War II and in shark infested waters, and just tons of dudes got eaten alive. It was a harrowing story that actually happened that they incorporated in this movie into a character that's not real, that totally felt real to me.
Yeah, I could believe it.
And then, of course, naturally, in their somewhat drunken stupor, they began singing a little shanty. Great scene. I love that scene so much. And then the shark begins attacking the boat because, of course, it does. Water starting to fill up. Brody's been given a pump to try and pump some of it out, while Quint and Hooper deal with the shark at large.
Add
They
more buoys.
they add they I think the first was it the first one like gets cut off, or the shark bites it off or something, like it disconnects, and then they manage to hook it with like 2 or 3 more.
And then it's like a total of, I think, 4 buoys at the
I
end.
thought it was 3, and he said
more.
no shark can stand a 3 barrel.
Yeah, but then it could, and then they had to attach another one.
Right. It went under the you're right. So the first one disconnected. I think that's when they attached it to the boat. And then the shark was literally yanking the boat around, which was an awesome scene. I am not entirely sure how they filmed that. They had to have had some kind of machine under the water to like yank that large boat around in the Massachusetts Bay. I mean, they did have like a giant mechanical shark on a track somehow in the bay as well. I'm so curious as to how they did it. I'm sure there's a behind the scenes I need to watch, but yeah, Jaws is going to get the better of them here pretty shortly. We do see him come just out of nowhere, burst from the water behind Brody, and Sheriff Brody turns around, sees it, and just total shock, just backs Ben to the cabin and just says the classic line, "Jazmin,
we're gonna need a bigger boat.
You're gonna need a bigger boat." What a great reference that is. And do you want to continue on from here?
Sure. So the struggle continues. They end up having to put like 4 buoys on this shark. They like bust out the like engine, so it's like flooding, and Quint is just going crazy at this point. It's like his it's like he just wants the shark to die, so he's like full speed ahead, even though the boat can't handle it. So the boat starts to sink. The shark is still attacking. We see a scene where they go down into like the living quarters, and the shark like starts attacking the living quarters. Like this, like the boat's like halfway into the water. Quint slides down the boat and into the shark's mouth. We have this whole scene where he's just getting chewed up by this shark, and he dies slowly into the water.
Yep. Terrible way to die.
Hooper was trying to. Oh, we missed the cage scene. There was a cage scene.
They did say one of their suggestions was that Hooper inject the shark with some kind of vial of some kind of poison. And he could not do it from the boat. The easiest way to do it would be to climb into his shark cage, and when the shark attacks the cage, just stab it
in his mouth. Stab it in his mouth, because they were saying that the...
Unfortunately, Jaws is so big that he just kind of smashes the cage open, and Hooper
drops it.
Hooper drops it, but Hooper is able, in the commotion, to basically like dive down and kind of hide among the rocks.
And in that process, Quint is dying, and Brody is, in this battle with the shark. The thing's sinking, and he gets a shotgun. The shark ends up getting one of those, what are they called?
An air tank. It was
an air tank.
Some kind of air tank.
Some type of air tank. It gets in his mouth, and then he says the classic line.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Something like, "Hello, you don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game."
No.
Buried in your eye is a key that will unlock the reverse bear trap wrapped around your skull.
I'm pretty sure it's something we say at the end of our podcast.
Smile, you son of a dookie.
Yeah,
and he shoots the tank, and it explodes in a teeny. The shark explodes into teeny tiny bits.
and he's dead. And
And
then
he's
Hooper
dead.
comes back out, and Hooper and Brody have survived.
They laugh in relief as they start paddling back to shore, and that is the end of Jaws. Or is it? They made
Dun,
how
dun,
how many
dun.
Jaws movies, Jazmin? Is it 4?
I will check.
I believe it's 4. While you do that, we need to rank Jaws on our undisputed shark movie tier list. We do this by a metric of brutality, cheesiness, and the eye roll meter.
There was also one other thing, but I think we've
We
just
don't we at this
we don't
point
do it
we
anymore.
don't do it anymore. That was like in season 1 over a
Uh,
over a year ago, Jazmin. Let it go.
let it go. Let it go. Okay.
Our
Brett, to
undisputed
answer
shark.
your question,
Ugh,
there were four shark movies:
I thought so.
Jaws,
You don't
Jaws 2, Jaws 3, and Jaws: The
The
Revenge.
Revenge, yeah. So there are 27 movies on our shark movie tier list right now. It at the very bottom, the bottom 3, number 26, Virus Shark, number 25, Ice Shark, and number 24, Sharknado: The Fourth Awakens. Rounding in the middle area there, number 10, Sharktopus, number 11, Shark Night 3D, number 12, Santa Jaws. And the top 3 movies on our list, number 1, 47 Meters Down, number 2, 47 Meters Down Uncaged, and number 3, Six-Headed Shark Attack.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jazmin, on a scale of 1 to impossible, how would you rate this movie on the eye roll meter?
I feel like this movie had no eye rollness to it. It was an older movie, but it was believable in the acting and in the events.
I agree. The acting, the scene direct. First of all, I mean it's Steven Spielberg, right? So he should have known. But the scene direction, the camera angles, the
Very
lighting,
natural.
everything was perfect. Just
The transition from scene to scene, it all seemed natural. It all
everything
seemed
is
like it
good.
was in order.
No,
So I don't think there was any eye roll.
there was not a line, there was not a scenario, there was not an interaction or a moment in that movie where I felt like, oh, this is stupid and rolled my eyes. Or oh, this is
Agreed.
corny. Speaking of corny, Jazmin, what do you give this movie on the cheese factor? How cheesy is it?
Again, for this movie being a movie from 1975, I don't think that there was a lot of cheese. I mean, maybe like some of like the drunk scenes. I mean, they're important. But at the same time, I was just kind of like,
You mean the hippies at the beginning?
no.
Who else was drunk? Oh, do you mean them in the cabin?
Yeah,
That's the most believable.
the singing and stuff was
That's
just
the
like a
most
little
believable part of
cheesy.
that.
But the singing and stuff was a little cheesy for me. A
That's
little bit.
that's
And
the
it's
most.
not in a bad way though. I'm not
No,
saying it's
that's
bad.
not it. I disagree. Well, what do
Uh,
you give it on a
I give
scale
it
of red to blue?
let's go to red to blue. Red being bad. I give it a blue.
Okay.
I'll give it a magenta.
I don't think this movie was cheesy at all. I think the inherent cheesiness of it lies in the 1970s, the style choices, the
Mm-hmm.
hairstyles, the clothing. But
Yeah,
I don't fault the movie for that. It
I
When
don't
that movie
either.
came out, it was modern dress. Now, like watching it 40, 50, whatever, how many, I don't know how to do math years later. Yeah, those styles are kind of outdated and a little bit cheesy, but it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Think of it
Doesn't
like a
bother
pair of
me either.
shoes. The animatronics for the sharks still hold up. You could definitely tell it's an animatronic shark.
It's but they did have some scenes where they had like real video clips of sharks, which we've seen
and
before, but they weren't
and
bad.
and I'll say that like when the shark had the tank in its mouth and it's caused like the side of its mouth to kind of like balloon out, a little bit cheesy, just a little bit. Like I don't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
buy that. Brutality, Jazmin, on a scale of 0 to infinity, what do you give it?
For brutality,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this movie was pretty. I mean, there were some parts that weren't realistic. There was a good amount of blood. But it was, to me, it was one of those things where they didn't. It's a PG movie, so it's like it was like more insinuated gore, but also they did show some shark attacks. So out of 10, 10 being like crazy gore, brutal, like Mortal Kombat finisher, I'll give it a 4 on a scale of Mortal Kombat finisher. 1 to Mortal Kombat finisher.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I'm going for also middle of the road, middle of the water.
But I do see how back then, like how gory that would have been.
Mm-hmm.
So I do understand that. So back then it probably would have gotten like pretty high disturbing ratings. I'm surprised that this was the movie originally PG, or was it, or has it changed over the years because of its age? Do you know?
I do not.
I'll check. I'm curious because I feel like in 1975, there's no way that that movie would have been PG, right?
No clue. Jazmin, where are you looking at and placing this movie on the list? Because I can already tell you that for me, it's probably going number 1.
Oh,
Jaws is the granddaddy of all shark movies. I think 47 Meters Down is inherently a scarier movie, but what are we basing our list on? The list is totally based on whichever movie we enjoy more. Did I enjoy 47 Meters Down more than Jaws? I'm not sure. I think Jaws is on almost every level a better movie. And that's not putting 47 Meters Down down. It's not putting 47 Meters Down in the slightest. That's how good I think Jaws is. What do you think?
If I had to pick between which one I would want to watch again, I would probably pick 47 Meters Down.
It's a shame. So where would you put it on the list then?
I would be okay with putting it as number 2.
Oh man. Oh, we really gonna put 47 Meters Down above the greatest shark movie of all time?
We don't have to. I mean,
We're gonna get so much shit.
It is our rating. I mean, we
rating.
could just give it the 1.
And
if you truly believe that it is the number 1, I mean, if you believe it's the number 1, and it did start off with, and it is like the starting point of all shark movies, we could give it number 1. But in my personal opinion, on which one I would want to watch again, would just be.
We could do a cop out and make it another tie.
We don't have to.
All right.
I mean,
how about this? We'll let the dice decide. I have here a D20, a 1 through 9, and Jaws will be number 2. A 10. Excuse me.
No.
Just shush. Let me talk. Can I talk? Can I fucking say a goddamn word?
No, can you spit it out already?
1 through 9, Jaws is number 2. A 11 through 20, Jaws is number 1.
What? No. Can we do? I want to do either tie or number 1.
No. If it lands on a 10, it's a tie.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Jaws is. Congratulations, Jaws and Steven Spielberg. Your award is in the mail. You are the new number 2 on our all-time shark movie.
Are you sure? List. I feel like you're not okay with that.
I'm sure. So the list is as thusly. The last 5, 27, Virus Shark, 26, Ice Sharks, 25, Sharknado The Fourth Awakens, 24, Jurassic Shark, 23, Avalanche Sharks. The middle of the pack, number 10, Sharknado 6, It's About Time. Number 11, Sharktopus. Number 12, Shark Night 3D. And top, we'll just do the top 5. Number 1, 47 Meters Down. Congratulations. Number 2, Jaws. Number 3, 47 Meters Down Uncaged. Number 4, Six-Headed Shark Attack. And number 5, Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf.
Woo!
I don't foresee any scenario where any other shark movie we watch touches 47 Meters Down or Jaws. I just don't.
I agree unless a new movie comes out. Like
It's
a
yeah,
like a
it's gonna
like
be even then. It's gonna be so difficult. Like
what's that one? I don't remember the name with the cook with who
deep
was LL Cool J? Is that who
deep
it
blue.
was?
Are you talking about Deep Blue Sea?
Oh
Are you
yeah, I'm talking about
suggesting to me that Deep Blue Sea is better than Jaws or 47 meters down?
No, I'm
Be-
just saying it'll probably
Because
be up there.
how dare you?
Well, I like that. I like that one.
You can like it and be wrong about it, but that's totally your thing. We'll watch that next season along with a couple of other things, such as the next Sharktopus versus Pteracuda, Pteracuda,
Zombie
Terracuda.
Shark. I'm still waiting for Zombie Shark to
Yeah,
happen.
we'll probably watch Zombie Shark next year too. In the meantime, we will be taking a few months of a break. We will be
For the
back
holidays.
for the holidays. We will be back next year. We hope you have a nice Halloween in the interim, but don't go anywhere just yet. Uh, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/poddog. And a big thank you to our patrons, Cisco M, Steve S, my mom, your mom, and Ken P. So thank you very
Woo!
much to
Thank
our
you.
patrons for contributing to our shows. And if you like this show or others like it, like After Dark Rye, Watchers of the Stuff, or Let's Die, the revival, the Revenant coming back, baby. Please
Woo!
check us out and consider being a patron. It doesn't
If
cost very much,
you're
and you get a bunch of shit for it.
if you are watching us on YouTube right now, he will include the links down below.
I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, the links will be in the description anyway, so don't worry about
Well,
it.
the YouTubes, the links will
Both.
be there.
They'll be in both. I do everything.
He does everything, guys. Brett, we
Um,
didn't do the quiz.
I was getting to it.
Oh,
Can
okay.
you let me spit it out, Jazmin?
Well, it just sounded like we were coming to a close, so I was like, wait a
No, I just
second,
want
the
to get that through.
quiz.
Jazmin, we have here the last quiz of our
Yes.
season 3. True or false, Jazmin? During the movie, uh, Hooper mentions that sharks have territoriality.
Okay.
True or false? Do
Um,
sharks in real life are they territorial? Do sharks are they in real life have territory? Have territory?
false. They false because they travel a lot.
Correct. The answer is false.
They travel a lot. They do a lot of swimming up and down to warm waters.
Matt Hooper, speaking of which, Richard, played by Richard Dreyfuss, is a oceanographer from the Where, Jazmin.
National
Where?
Geographic.
Incorrect. Do you want to try again? I'll let you have that one back.
I thought it was. I don't know then.
The Oceanographic Institute.
Oh, I was gonna say oceanographic, but then
It
I
was
was
a
like, that
trick.
doesn't sound
It
right.
was even in his job title. All
It
right,
didn't sound
Jazmin.
right to me. Well, 1 for 1.
You're gonna need a bigger podcast, Jazmin. How big was the shark Jaws, aka Bruce?
I think it was what didn't they say like 15 feet or something?
Final answer?
Yeah.
And incorrect. When the shark first rears its beautiful mug, uh, I believe Brody's, and maybe it was Hooper, I can't remember. One of them says that's a 20-footer. Quint goes 25. The
Oh,
shark
okay.
was 25 feet long. Great white sharks, Jazmin, get to an average size of how big at adulthood?
40?
40? You think great white sharks get 40 feet? And you
15.
So you think the shark in
15.
Jaws is a small shark at 25
15.
feet?
15.
Jesus Christ, 40
Same
feet?
answer.
You're
Same
approaching
answer.
you're approaching
15.
megalodon level sizes at 40
15.
feet. Incorrect. The
15.
correct
15.
answer is around 20 feet.
What?
Which I think the largest one we have on record is named Deep Blue at about estimates are about 21, 22 feet, although there are current estimates that make it more like 18, 19. So it's kind of up in the air a little bit. You can't exactly just grab a measuring tape and measure them.
Facts. But with science today, they have an easier time measuring them out.
I literally just said that there's some debate still over it. Thanks you. Thanks science. The cops.
Use imaging, bro.
The cops. The imaging. The cops. Damn it, Jazmin. The cops. They're after me. The cops.
Whoop, whoop.
The cops. Shut up. Let me. Can you let me?
One false move, I'll take you down. Whoop whoop, y'all. Don't know me like that. Get back, get back. Okay, I'm done.
I wish you would have saved that. The cops mentioned the crime rate in New York City. Jazmin. Actually, it was Brody that mentioned the crime rate in New York City isn't as bad as the shark attacks they were currently experiencing, or something along those lines.
Okay. Oh, no.
Jazmin, definitely. What is the murder rate in New York City in 1975? And how many shark attacks in the world, fatal shark attacks in the world, occurred in 1975?
I want to say 5
5 shark attacks?
5 to 6 shark attacks.
Okay, 5 to 6. I'll give you that.
Versus, like in a year.
In 1975.
I want to say like 50.
Okay. You think there were 53 murders in New York City and 5 to 6 shark attacks in the world in the year 1975 of our Lord.
Documentation, bro.
Okay.
I'm sure people aren't documenting shark attacks as often as they are murders.
I'm sure you're incorrect. You're technically correct because someone can be bit by a shark and not report it and no one knows about it. But I'm talking about fatal shark attacks. We don't know if someone went out to sea and was eaten by a shark. We don't know. So, I mean, there are plenty of unsolved murders.
Is it less than 5?
Yes. The correct answer for shark attacks in 1975 was 1. There was one. No. There was one. Now, let me just preface that. Fatal shark attack. There was one fatal shark attack in 1975. One Grace, I won't say her last name, died from blood loss after being attacked by sharks when her fishing boat sank off the coast of Oregon. That was July 30th, 1975. There could have been some somewhere else that just isn't reported. It's not like they keep a database.
I feel like you should give that to me because I'm only off by 4.
Okay, well, you thought there were 53 murders in New York City in 1975.
There are a lot of murders that happened in New York.
Well, there were in the real world, Jazmin. There was 1,996 murders in New York City.
So you're not even close.
Way off.
Well, that's a lot of murder.
Yeah.
There's no way I was gonna get that answer.
I mean, if you had gotten close, I would have given it to you, but you weren't even remotely close.
Do I get the shark one?
No, Jazmin, it is time for the scar contest. You must beat me, your brother, in a scar off. Show me a scar.
Okay. I have one. I have this one. You can't really see it on camera.
What is it? You got to tell me what it's from.
This one is from when I was in middle school, at a softball game. Mm-hmm. And you know how they like chain off, a certain part of the area so people can't drive their cars on the gravel and stuff? Towards the benches in St. Albans. I was running to the bathroom and I thought it'll be a great idea to just run and jump over the chain. And my foot caught on it, and I went elbow first into the rocks/gravel, and it cut open my arm. Mm-hmm. And then I ended up playing the game still after that. I didn't tell anybody that I had been bleeding.
This here, I don't know if you can see it on my... Oh, yeah, you can see it. You can see the stitches. I was a young lad. This is my index finger, by the way. Trying to get the rubber ball out of a baseball with a dull pocket knife. Naturally, my hand slipped and I sliced that finger open, and my father rushed me to the not the emergency room, to like the first aid. I don't know what they're called. They're not emergency rooms, but it's just kind of like, it's not important. Anyway, they stitched me up and I had to go play baseball anyway. And it hurt a lot.
So our stories are very similar because we both had to play softball and baseball. I have another one.
Yep, it's your turn.
You can't see it. You can't see it.
Just so you know, we're going until one of us wins.
You can't see it, but I have 2 scars here, and another one on my calf. The one on my knee is from where I had my ACL reconstructive surgery, And I have a cadaver ACL, so I have a dead person's ligament in my leg.
No wonder you've been haunted.
And then the other one, oh, you can't see it. I don't know. Can you see it? It's like
No.
here.
You know, you're only supposed to do one at a time.
It's right there. And
This counts as one, just so you know.
From box jumps.
Yep, this counts
Box
as
jumps.
one. You wasted two on one, so that's your
That's
fault.
fine.
This
They're pretty good.
scar, again, hard to see on camera.
We have matching ones.
I have a 6 to 8 inch scar, thin scar that runs the length, halfway down where my thumb is on the backside, all the way down through my wrist and into my tattoo sleeve. And I don't know where it's from. I've had it since I was a child. I don't know I don't remember where it came from, but it's always been there. It'll always be there. Jazmin, your turn.
I have one also on my wrist. It's very small. You can't see it as well as I used to be able to. But I was cutting an apple with a knife, like a pocket knife, in my room watching TV, and the cat came by or something and jerked my arm, and I just like.
Down here, you can't see it on the camera, but on my nutsack, I have a scar from a terrible bicycle crash that I had in junior high. I tried to ramp off of something that turned out it wasn't a ramp, but a low wall. So I literally just face planted. And when I did, I was standing up on the bike. So the handlebars twisted and I landed so that the handlebars hit the ground first and then went directly into my male parts and cut me along my sack and gave me a nice scar along my balls.
Everyone wanted to know. I have another one, I guess. Are we just gonna keep going?
Yeah, we're gonna go until one of us wins.
I have another one right here, and I got it from what is it? Monkeypox? Well, not monkeypox. What is it?
Monkeypox? What the fuck?
Chickenpox. Chickenpox. Monkeypox. I think is
monkeypox. You got the Jesus Christ.
I got chickenpox when I was in elementary school, and I picked at it on my face, and now I have eternally a scar there. So,
on the same index, was it the same index finger? Hang on a second. Let me see. Oh, actually, right here, this is my left ring finger. You can't see that scar, but that's where our old dog Meshuggah accidentally bit me and ripped open my flesh. And I had to go to the ER for it. Yeah. And you can still see the scar from that.
I'm sorry the mic fell.
Please stop touching the microphone.
It fell. I'm fixing it. I have another one. To be honest, you can see it right here, actually.
Yep, I see it.
I don't know what that's from. I don't know what that's from. So, and then I'll just end it with I have a lot of acne scars.
That doesn't count. They count.
There's scars. There's scars on my body. They count.
Well, then you should have saved them for their own entry. Just above where my stitches
I'm not
are,
gonna tell everyone about all my.
There's a small incision scar where I slipped with an X-Acto knife and stabbed myself. This one made me pass out because I held it over a sink, and when I let my hand go so that I could rinse it under the sink, a strand of fat from my finger fell out, and I saw that and literally just hit the floor, passed out completely. Your turn.
I have a scar from where I got bit by a tick near my lady area.
Oh, gross! Jazmin has Lyme disease confirmed.
I don't. It was unfortunate. I was in the shower and I just saw it there and it wouldn't come off of me. I don't think it bit me really, but it was there and now I have a scar. So
right about here, it's easier to feel than see on the camera just because the camera's such shit. But that is where I went into the palm of my thumb with a rotary disc sander, air driven. It cut through my safety gloves and sliced me open. And when I went to the sink at work to rinse my wound, as soon as I removed my hand, my blood squirted with like my heartbeat. It went, and seeing that, I passed out and hit the floor immediately.
Well, I think that
stop playing with the microphone. I'm gonna give you a fucking scar.
It's slipping. I think that Bret wins. I will concede.
You don't have any more scars?
I do, but they're mostly acne scars and like scars from volleyball that I don't really like. I've played volleyball for like 10 years. I don't remember each single scenario from
Fine.
when I would play
Jazmin,
volleyball.
there's still hope. This last one is worth approximately 10 million points. This is for the
Okay.
entirety of the season and to earn your co-host chair back from
Oh
Vinny
well, that's not
Inflation.
gonna work.
So,
And Chris.
and Chris, that's correct. This is to win your co. No, this isn't to win the hosting back. I'm still just whoever, but this is for you, Jazmin. I need you to sing me a sea shanty that we can sing together.
Put me under the spot.
Exactly.
There is one.
There's one.
Um,
Is the lonely? Go ahead. Come on, Jazmin.
I'm trying to
Spit it
remember
out.
the words. I remember who did it, and you might have heard it, and you might not have. But there
Okay.
was a Nickelback song.
No.
It was the Nickelback song that got turned into a sea shanty. Have you ever heard it?
No, but you're supposed to sing me a sea shanty that I can sing along to.
I don't remember this
Do not
song.
look things up. Just make something up.
Um,
Sing the one from Jaws. Hell, I literally gave you an out. 10 million points. All you gotta do is just sing a goddamn song.
Farewell, my Spanish lady. I don't know the rest of
Just
the
the
words
words.
to the
The
song,
song.
but
But
come high, come low, wherever the
wherever the
wind
wind
goes.
blows.
Goodbye, my
Bye,
fair
fair
lady.
lady.
To the sea, off
See,
I
off I go.
go. Is that good?
And I don't want to go to bed. Good enough. Jazmin, you get 10 million points. God,
I got this my Spanish lady part from the Jaws song, but I couldn't remember the rest of the words.
it's like pulling teeth, dear listener. And that is going to be
Terrible at singing.
Jaws. I'm going to send you to improv school. Jawsbreakers, a scary, funny shark movie show. We did it. Season 3 is in the bag. We'll see you in a few months. Jazmin, is there anything you want to tell the people before we go?
I guess thank you guys so much for listening, for all the people that have stayed and chatted and all those fun things. We appreciate you. We love you. And look forward to another season with you, my brother Beans.
Word.
Watching more shark movies. So thank you guys so much. And
I agree. And join the Patreon, God damn it. Or not the Patreon. Sorry. I meant that too. But I meant to be more aggressive about the Discord. Join the Discord so you can watch movies with us.
please and thank you.
Please and thank you.
To
smile, you son of a bitch. And I don't want to go to bed. It's time for me to grab this mic and then tell you a story. Then we're dead.
Hey. Goodbye. Thank you.
Oh, my brain.
We did it.
We did it. What are you doing here? The show's over. Go home.
Yep.
Get out of here.
See you later.
Go get a scar. Tweet us your scars.
Jawsbreakerinos.
Sharknado hose or Sharknado hose.
You're our Jawbreakerinos.
No, I quit.
Yeah, that's good.
No.
That's good. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. What else would we? Yeah.
That's horrible. Dude,
The Jawsbreakersons.
You could have said
Jawsbreakers.
For your shanty, you said Sharky, do 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 do, Jawsbreakers, do 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 do, Jawsbreakers, do 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 do, Sharky, do
Jawsbreakers.
Sharky, do 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 do.
Okay, podcast. Goodbye.
We should be banned.
No, it's fine. I'm gonna stop recording now.